I'm just going to forewarn you guys, if you are not very spiritual, then you might not want to watch this video, because I'm going to be talking about some spiritual, hippy-dippy, woo-woo stuff. But if you have any curiosity about that, or you just want to kind of listen to me talk about my life and some stuff I've been going through and processing right now, then please stay. Some of it is more mainstream. It's kind of working with the new year that's coming. You know, we're exiting this year and this decade, and the new year for me has never been a super pivotal moment. I normally set resolutions or intentions around my birthday, which is in the beginning of November. And if I decide that there's something in my life that isn't working, I'm the kind of person who I very actively work to change it. I am very good at being able to restrict myself when it's an all or nothing kind of situation. Like, I went vegetarian cold turkey 10 years ago. I haven't eaten any meat since then. I went vegan cold turkey. I am not vegan anymore, but that was for 4 years that I was able to do that. Unfortunately, my lifestyle had a shift, and veganism is not something that I can currently make a part of my life. I would like to get back to that, but we'll see how that all unfolds and works out. But if I decide, I'm not going to eat sugar for a month or do this or that, I apply it in my life and I'm pretty disciplined. But last year, I had a lot of things that were up in the air in my life at the new year. I had a lot of unknown happening, and it really threw me for a loop, more so than I think I realized. And I just really want to take everything that I've cultivated this year for myself, all the growth and the change, and have a direction to it. Like, I work out pretty regularly. A few times a week I go to the gym. But I don't really have a end goal or a intention with what I'm doing. I have a certain idea of maybe how I want my body to look, and I want to lose some weight, and I want to be healthy. Like, that's a big part of it for me. Going to the gym is very good for me mentally. It helps stimulate me and then also quiet my mind at the same time. I get a lot of ideas about writing at the gym and have a lot of clarity, but then also I can kind of separate from really strong feelings and just get out of my head. But I would like to have like a more structured routine or process to going, because I just kind of go and do whatever. And yeah, that's great to intuitively kind of feel out what you need, but I would at least like to have some kind of structure to get to certain goals, or eventually I'll feel like, why am I doing this? So that is something that I want to kind of work on and figure out, is like my gym goals and what I'm doing with that, and just kind of get into a little routine. Also, I'm about to start working a lot more, and so when I'm working a lot, it really helps me to have a clear set of goals each day. Like, okay, I gotta go to the gym and do this, and I have to get this done, and just different things in my life that I really need to focus on. As long as I know that they're there, I can kind of prioritize my time well. If I'm not in a place where I am thinking that way, then I normally will get complacent with my time, and then I get really anxious because I didn't spend it correctly and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, thinking about the new year a lot. I got this planner for the new year. It's the year of growth. It is designed by Dreamy Moon. She is an Instagram artist that I found through Spirit Daughter. She did this really big sale in November for like Christmas, and this was a part of it. I wasn't intending to get this, but when it was part of the sale, I just kind of felt called to it. It's really about manifesting, setting intentions, reflecting, visualizing. There's like elements of gratitude, and I just think that it'll be a good tool to have. I have another planner as well that I bought before I had any intention to get that one. This one is what I had last year. I don't like the design of this at all on the outside. Like, this is beautiful and I love it. This, I don't like this. It's by Amy Nope, I want to say. Knapp. I think that's it. There's a K at the beginning, but I think it's silent. And so it has like a standard planner, you know, the month spread, but then it has like these little goal sections, and then it just has different little writing prompts, which I really like. I haven't been using this. I've been really bad about using my planner recently. And so there's somebody on a little scooter that is quite loud and quite slow. Sorry. But yeah, they have little writing prompts and then the week and the to-do list. So I'm not going to get rid of this, obviously, but I'm just going to try to use them in conjunction because I do like the writing prompts in here, and I don't know at all how I'm going to structure like using this in comparison to using this, and what I'm going to write down in each one. Last year, I thought I had the same kind of situation of having two planners. I was gifted a planner, and I thought about using it as like a food journal, like documenting what I was eating, not just for like, maybe I should say a health planner, like documenting when I would work out. I donate blood, so I like to keep track of that. And then to like what I've been eating to really know like what's going on with my health. But I didn't end up doing that because I got rid of that planner because it had associations with my ex-boyfriend bought it for me. And I was like, I can't keep, there's a lot of bad blood between the two of us. So I'm just like, I can't keep this. It's like giving me bad vibes. And I wasn't using it for what I intended to anyway. So it was like, what's the point of like just having it around to be reminded like, yeah, you had this really sweet intention by getting me this, but then everything got messed up. So I have these planners. So I'm excited about those. I also am going to start a new journal in 2020. I listened today to Yoga Girl's podcast from last year, and she talks about, you know, intention setting, and started to go into like a meditation and talked about how she intention sets. And so I'm going to listen to that and then kind of set up my journal. This is my journal that I got. It's by Dreamy Moons again. And it says, let go and let the universe give you what you need. And this is actually the background on my phone and has been since I got this phone back in March. So this journal is going to be different for me though, because it has line pages and blank pages. And there was a time in my life where I would have never gotten this journal because I would have not wanted the blank pages. So I'm going to try to incorporate like more art into my journaling. I know that she, Dreamy Moons, like uses watercolors in hers. So I want to kind of try to figure that out. Because I used to do some watercolor painting. Not a lot. If you can see that like yellow orangey kind of thing back there, I painted that in the background, and then someone I dated wrote on top of it because he had really, really nice handwriting. And that says, happiness is always an inside job, which is one of my favorite quotes. And I actually heard that quote, or I got a little magnet that has that on it in Hawaii. When I went a few years ago, I also heard somebody say, your perception is your reality. And that is one of my favorite things as well. I just think that that is such a powerful statement. Your perception is your reality, because it really is true. Whatever you decide is going on is going on. So I'm really excited about this. I'm not sure how I'm going to structure it yet because I want to do that with Yoga Girl. I used to just do my journals like entries and that was it. I'm sorry, my eye is really bothering me. So I used to just do like journal entries and that was it. And then when I got this journal, I want to say this journal I got in September of 2018. I kind of changed how I was journaling, and I started like writing quotes in the front, and I wrote like these to-do lists. list like things that make me happy and just a lot of different stuff I was putting into it. I started incorporating like stickers and markers and just trying to make it a little bit more fun and somewhat more creative. So one thing that I have in a lot of my journals is this bee shell hierarchy of needs. So it's similar to the Maslow hierarchy of needs, but I really like made it tailored to myself, like what things I need to feel okay, and then, you know, what's at the top and what's at the bottom, which the top is the least important. Like you have to go through each layer to have the top. So mine are work and financial stability or security, home life and stability, emotional and physical well-being, friendships, and then romantic relationships. And I might tweak this a little bit. I don't know how, but yeah, maybe add another layer of like spiritual stuff, or maybe put that in with my home life, like home life and spiritual stability. I don't know how to really phrase that. But yeah, so that's something that I'm kind of working on. I have my box that I keep in my closet with like all my old journals. I actually found a bunch of super old journals. Most of them are like half used or less. That was one thing that I did when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend Thomas, was I started keeping a journal and I kept it like very well. I normally would like keep a journal for a couple weeks and then I'd forget about it, and then I'd start a new journal and I wouldn't want to use the old one or this or that, and I don't do that anymore. I always just, I have one journal. This is my journal right now that I have. It has bugs all over it and flowers. It says be the windshield, not the bug. I just thought this was cute. It was really fun. I had like a couple really super like girly journals, like one was pink, and then one of them was like this really pretty holographic journal, and then I tried to have this other pink one, but I held it like with me for a while, like I was getting ready to use it, like setting it up, and by the time I started using it, I just really didn't want to, and I saw this journal and I like fell in love with it, and I didn't get it, but I remembered about it and I thought about it for like days. I was like, I'm gonna go get that, and so I did. I really like it. So this journal starts, actually the first page is blank because it was supposed to be the hierarchy of needs, but I haven't put it in there yet, and honestly I'll be done with this soon enough and I'll be on to this one, so this one probably won't get it, but I have like a bunch of quotes in here. One quote, yeah, I have, your perception is your reality, it's never too late to be what you might have been, and then I have the Cheryl Strayed quote about forgiveness, like what if I forgive myself. It's a long quote, but I really resonate with that. And then I actually have the monologue, if you guys have seen the movie Someone Great on Netflix, where she writes, do you think I can have one more kiss, and so forth. And I wrote that in my journal because that monologue really resonated with me, with the breakup that I've been going through and everything, so I like reading that. I have Lana Del Rey's monologue from Ride, because that I've loved. I have some quotes from Breakfast at Tiffany's. I have some love quotes. I have some quotes about happiness and just individuality. And then I have, I guess like a poem. So I guess I'm going to read you guys this really quickly because this is my favorite quote. And I feel like if you've gotten out of a relationship or are struggling in a relationship, this quote, like, it always makes me feel better. Someone can be madly in love with you and still not be ready. They can love you in a way you've never been loved and still not join you on the bridge. And whatever their reasons, you must leave. Because you never, ever have to convince someone to do the work to be ready. There is more extraordinary love, more love that you have never seen out there in this wide and wild universe. And there is a love that is ready. And I just love that last part. Like, there's the love that's ready. Like, when you're ready, there's love that's ready. I think that that's one thing that I definitely learned this year. Like, I am not ready for love. Like, I actually am holding this like rose quartz crystal. I just got this for 2020. I have avoided rose quartz like the plague. And just because the idea, the word love gives me the heebie jeebies and makes my skin crawl. And even though it's self love, love for other, I honestly have not had a lot of love. I've not been a very loving person to myself, to others, whether it's romantic, familial, friendship, love, or self love. Like, probably mostly for myself and my baby cat. But I just haven't, I feel like love requires an amount of openness that I have not had. And I have avoided rose quartz like the plague. And the other day I saw my one like little tumbled stone in my box, and I was like, I really feel like this is the stone of 2020 for me. Like, I need to get in tune with it. So I got this little heart. So I've been working with this, and I'm very excited. My stones of 2019, I feel like were more so citrine for sure. I wear citrine. And then like howlite more so for the past couple months, which is a really calming stone. Lapis lazuli I used for a good couple months. I was really into that. So definitely rose quartz for the very end, and then starting 2020, and I love it. Maybe I'll get in tune with something else. Like, I work with my crystals all the time, like picking different ones that I already own. But sometimes if I feel very gravitated towards a stone, I will, if I have like a bigger form, I'll buy a small one so I can carry it with me. Or if I have a small one, I'll buy a bigger one so I can kind of meditate with it and just hold. I like holding crystals. Like, I will hold like different crystals that are big like this to my chest, like my howlite back there. I do that all the time. It's just very calming for me. So there's that. Also about love, this is like, I've never done this before, so this will be my first time doing it, and I'm gonna wait, I think. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it on, technically it'll be Thursday night because it'll be after midnight. That's the night of the Gemini full moon, and I have my little book that I needed to do for Spirit Daughter, and then I have a ritual that I'm going to do that I got off Forever Conscious. But I think that ritual is very release centered. I haven't read the whole thing, but from what I remember, just skimming it. And then also the next day, or it's still the 12th, is when Chiron goes direct. So it's an asteroid that's been in retrograde. And so there's like a little meditation that I'm going to do for that. So I'll probably do the Gemini full moon stuff on technically Thursday, but it'll be Wednesday. Like, it'll be Wednesday night turning into Thursday. And then I'll go to sleep, and then it'll be Thursday for real when I wake up. And then that night I will do the Chiron stuff. But I'm going to do this like releasing work. And I'm gonna do candle work with it, which I've seen these candles for years. I actually have one, and I should probably get rid of it because I never burnt it correctly. I just kind of burned it like sporadically and never set any intention behind it, so I should probably just get rid of it. But they are these 7-day candles. I went to the dollar store to go get this, and so I just watched a video on it on YouTube. I just searched it, and the woman did a really good job explaining everything. And so in short, in summation, there's a lot more, so don't do this based off what I'm saying because you have to do a lot of stuff. You like write these affirmations to release, and then you burn the candle for however long the candle burns, and it will help you release these things that you're trying to release. And I'm trying really, really hard to release my ex-boyfriend and all the resentment and anger and just energy that I hold for him, to him, everything still, and his girlfriend, and just all of it. Like, I just want to bye, because I have this rational part of me that like completely understands, and like I know I'm not ready for a relationship, And then, you know, I think I like have a pretty good idea of what's going on between the two of them. My ex-boyfriend is a pretty insecure person. He has to feel like he's better than superior to people. And I definitely feel like he thinks that way about this girl. But for me, there's a lot of anger there. And so there are times where I get emotional and I'm like, why isn't it me? Why, you know, this, why that? Why is it her? And I get really angry. I got really angry the other day about it. And I just don't want to be texting somebody, telling them how angry I am and putting my energy into that. So, release candle. That's what we're going to try to do. What else? What else? I don't know. I was totally thinking something and then I forgot as I was saying about that release candle. I am going to start reading this book, I think. It's Moonology. So this is working with the lunar cycles. It's just a little bit more in depth, I think. I don't know. I really haven't started it. I'm excited though. I think it'll be good. I like having that knowledge base. I'm reading this right now. This is another spiritual book. This is Light is the New Black. This book you don't have to really read in order. You can kind of just open it up. A prayer for letting go. But this is the kind of stuff that I like to sit with. I kind of read a page or two different sections and then I'll sit with it, and the ideas let them resonate with me. Like the next part that I'm going to read, I already read this before because I was just flipping through it and I saw this, but it's about that we choose our parents. And there's this very common belief in the spiritual community that we are going through lifetimes as this person, that our soul, you know, we're holding on to our soul in each lifetime. And for that, it's that each time you are being reincarnated and coming back, that you are making an agreement that you're doing this. So you're choosing your life. And I think for anyone that can be a hard concept to sit with, especially maybe if you're religious. I'm not. It's just kind of a hard concept for me because I have been through so much in my life. Like, been through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And then too, those around me have been, and it's kind of hard for me to look at it objectively when I see, I don't know. I like to just look at it for my own life and focus on myself, but sometimes when I start thinking about other people, then especially I'm like, ugh. But you know, you can only focus on yourself and your life and take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and it resonates with me, so yeah. But I don't know if I'm gonna kind of make a reading list for 2020. I want to read more than I did last year or this year. I have a lot of books that I can read though. I do not need to buy new books, but there's always a but. I'm really, really interested in learning more about chakras. I tried a couple times to listen to this like sleeping meditation that was to balance your root chakra. But the one time I did, I had headphones in and it was really uncomfortable. So I woke up and turned it off. And then last night I tried to have it on my speaker and I just could not fall asleep at all. It took me like 45 minutes and I still couldn't go to bed. So I turned it off. And then I still had like a really bad night's sleep. I don't know. I woke up at 4 a.m., couldn't get back to bed for like an hour and a half. Finally got back to sleep and my hip was hurting. It was weird. And then I woke up to my baby cat peeing on my bed, like right on top of me, just peeing because her litter box was not clean enough for herself. I clean that box like once, if not twice a day. But I bought this one litter and it was more natural and she really liked it for a little while and then she didn't. And I had the tiniest bit of it left, so I just threw it in there and I put it with the regular litter that I use, and that was a really bad idea because she has not liked it since then and she gets real mad. So luckily I took care of that situation. Hopefully I sleep better tonight. I've been taking these CBD sleep gummies and they've been helping, so that's been good. But I would like to get to a place where I'm more able to find sleep on my own. But yeah, I want to learn about chakras in the year of 2020, so I'll probably buy a book on that. I'm also kind of interested in numerology, so I might look into that eventually. I don't want to take on too much stuff that I want to learn about because I'm still like learning about other things. So I never, like I said, I didn't set any intentions for this year, make any plans or think, these are the things I want to learn about. It just kind of happened. So I've always had an interest in yoga. I've always practiced yoga, but it became a bigger thing in my life this year, something I rediscovered. Astrology is something I've always been interested in, but I finally have like dived into it and really gotten a good handle on like my astrology, especially like all of my chart. And then I have a pretty good idea of reading other people. I was really excited. I was out the other night and this girl saying something about my friend's phone, which is shattered. She goes, "Oh, well, it's kind of pretty." And I was like, "What are you, a Pisces?" And she was like, "Yeah, I am." And then somebody else was like, "Guess my sign." And I've talked to this kid like multiple times. And I was like, shit. I was like, okay, what do I know about him? Then I was like, "You're an Aries." And he was like, "You're right." I was like, yes. Which I love. And I mean, guessing someone's sun sign, I feel like one sign I can never guess is Scorpios, and I am a Scorpio sun, so I feel like Scorpio suns are normally more represented by their rising sign, or at least the ones that I've encountered, because I definitely come off as my rising sign. I'm a Sagittarius rising, so yeah, but I don't want to just throw all this crap at myself and then like get away from everything else. So I want to learn more about like the moon. That's something I started doing this year to learn more about. And then I want to have my birth chart read in 2020 by an astrologer. I don't know, there are a couple different ones that I'm looking at, so that's like something I would really like to do. I had this like really short natal chart reading done by somebody, and it was really interesting, but it was really short and it was just like a written thing. But I would like to like have a conversation with somebody and like talk about my chart and stuff. So that's a big goal for mine regarding astrology. And then also, I want to start practicing or moving towards or doing something actively to be able to start working towards being able to do a handstand. I keep like repeating this. I don't have a good upper body strength. Like, I never have. I can't really do a push up. Like, so I can't do a handstand. Like, someone could put a gun to my head and be like, "Do this." I would not be able to. I can do a headstand for a little while. A few years ago, I could do a forearm stand. So I just need to kind of practice more in my yoga, and then also just figure out what exercises I need to do to strengthen my upper body. At the time when I was able to do that stuff, I was actually paddling on my surfboard. And so I have a paddleboard, but I don't have racks on my car, so I can't really take it anywhere. So I used to take my surfboard out, and I would just lay down on the board and paddle. And I've always said that surfing is a very like male-driven sport because it requires so much upper body strength, and paddling like that is the only way I ever like targeted certain muscles. Like, it was crazy. So it's something that I definitely want to get back to doing in my life. It's just, I didn't really see a way. I mean, I could implement it now, but it's cold. So to get back into doing something that already is a little bit, that would be challenging, and then like to add the fact that it's cold as hell, I just don't see that happening for myself. Like, me being able to motivate myself, even, if it was challenging, okay, well, it's rewarding. But if like my ears hurt because of the wind and everything, I just don't see myself wanting to do that very much, because I know myself. I'm getting sleepy too. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any books that you would recommend to me, or if you have anything that you would recommend. I have a couple of tarot videos I'm gonna go watch. It's crazy that I want to do this candle thing too, because I keep watching this one lady, and I love watching her videos, and I normally always watch videos for my rising sign. And I resonate more with like my horoscopes for my rising sign, because if they're using the houses that everything is in, it's going with your rising sign. Your rising sign is what your first house, and then so on. So my sun sign is right next to my rising sign, it's right behind it. So it's similar, and sometimes the feelings can be the same, but most of the time my rising sign is more prevalent. But this one lady I watch on YouTube, she does these tarot card readings, and she does them like a couple times a month, and they're for different zodiac signs. And I always watch the Scorpio one. I always have watched the Scorpio one, and that one is always the one that resonates with me. And it's been talking about like exes coming back and all this stuff, and I'm just like, no, I cannot take this ex-boyfriend back. Not that I think he would even come back. I really don't. Like, I told my mom yesterday, was it yesterday? I told my mom the other day, I said, yeah, it's not like I would ever get back together with him. And she goes, do you lie to other people or just to yourself? And I was like, damn, Mom. But I told her, I was like, I love him. I do. I still love him. But I know that I would not be able to get over this thing that he's done with this other girl. Like how nicely he's treated her compared to how poorly he treated me. I would be freaking mad. And I am freaking mad. But I would like take it out on him. And he just is not a different person. Like I feel like I am different. I don't think he's that different. So I could only see it like ever working out one day if like he really made a lot of life changes. And even then, like, I just don't know if he would ever be the kind of person who would be, like, accepting of the things that I do, like burning a candle to shed an ex, or, like, pulling tarot cards. Like, that's all a part of my life that I enjoy doing, and I don't ever want to shrink that away because someone else feels uncomfortable. That's for a really long time why I kept dating my ex-boyfriend Thomas, because I felt like I could, it was subconscious, but I did not feel like I could find another man who would accept like those kind of things, which isn't true. There are a lot of people who are open-minded, and then there are a lot of dudes who just don't give a shit what you do. They don't care. Do whatever you want. Go play with your cards. So that just is what it is. I don't know. I feel like my ex-boyfriend though, Kevin, would definitely make fun of me. He'd be like, that's weird. Me. It would not just be like, oh, cool, babe, you do what you want. So yeah, I just gotta release it. I don't know why I'm so like weird right now, but hopefully I post this video because I have been in the funkiest mood. I've tried to film a few videos. If you guys want to hear what's been going on in my life besides just like this 2020 stuff, and you want me to talk about like things that have been happening because some weird shit has happened, let me know and I'll talk to you guys about it. I lost a job. I got a new job. I've run into my ex's friends. Like I said, I went off on my ex. I had really good street corn fritters. Street corn is one of my favorite foods. What else? I don't know. I can't like think of anything else right now, but I know there's more that I could tell you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well and you are having a good day or night. I know the lighting's funky, it's nighttime here. Okay, bye.